When violence forces people to flee a tight-knit rural community for a large anonymous city, they leave behind not only a physical place, but also a sense of belonging and emotional connection. Sense of community is about these emotional connections people feel with others in their community. So communities can be all sorts of different types. They can be workplaces, neighborhoods, online communities. But much of the research on sense of community has focused on neighborhoods and how people are more likely to take action to improve their neighborhood if they have a strong sense of community. According to social scientists David McMillan and David Chavez, there are 4 components of sense of community. When you have a strong sense of community, you feel that 1, you belong to a group, 2, you are important to others in the group, 3, your needs and the needs of others will be met through your commitment to the group, and 4, you're emotionally connected to others in the group. So to find out about sense of community in your own neighborhood, you would ask yourself and other members of your community questions like, do you feel that you're a member or belong to this community? Are you able to influence other members of the community, and do they influence you? Does your community meet your needs? For example, your need for a safe neighborhood or for being recognized for a good deed? Do you share a common history, similar experiences, and more broadly, an emotional connection with other members of the community? Because sense of community motivates people to take action, scholars have asked, how do people build sense of community? Much of this work has been done on people who have moved to a new place, leaving behind a sense of community and desperately wanting to belong, to feel important, and to create new bonds. So college students who move away from home may try to recreate a sense of community through joining a fraternity or a sports team. And we hear a lot of talk about people joining a gang or even a radical group like ISIS because they are seeking a sense of community. But there are other ways to create sense of community, and this is where environmental education comes in. People may form a sense of community through joining a neighborhood association whose members work to clean up trash or plant gardens or even share stories with each other. I remember visiting a community garden in Minneapolis where the plots were tended by elderly Korean immigrants. And they'd come to Minneapolis to be with their adult children, but they didn't speak English and they didn't know anyone other than their children and their grandchildren. So the community garden provided a place for them to belong, to make a difference, to fulfill their needs, and to form emotional bonds. It enabled them to rebuild something that they had left behind in their South Korean villages, a sense of community. But community gardens can also be used as places for learning about the environment or for environmental education. Environmental educators may be more familiar with sense of place than they are with sense of community. Whereas sense of community focuses on social aspects, sense of place is largely about the physical and biological features, like the houses, public gardens, streams, and parks near where you live. A strong sense of place motivates people to take action to improve the environment. And sense of place is readily connected to a popular trend in environmental education, that is place-based education. Place-based education uses the school grounds, local parks, or other nearby places as sites for learning traditional school subjects like math and science, as well as for learning about the environment and environmental action. A newer trend is called community environmental education, which focuses more on using environmental activities like community gardening to foster well-being of students and their community. Community environmental education is specifically targeted toward children and communities under a lot of stress, like communities where many of the parents are in jail or otherwise separated from their children, or environmental justice communities where there's rampant air and water pollution, which has torn apart the fabric of the community. This is where sense of community comes in. So the question becomes, how can we design environmental education programs so that they create a sense of community among participants? For example, in the favelas of Rio de Janeiro, could a program that engaged young people in planting and learning about trees create a sense among participants that they belong to the group, that the work they are doing matters to others, that their needs will be met, and that they are forming emotional connections. In short, can sense of community not only motivate people to take action to improve their neighborhoods, but also be one outcome of environmental education?